Late at night, I pushed open the door to my neighbor's aunt, who was reclining in a reclining chair, intently watching an interesting movie. I quietly stood behind him and gave him a hug. There was a stand on the table with a cell phone on the stand. Sunny leaned on the recliner, looking concentrated, breathing rapidly. I quietly stood behind it, while enjoying the, just as I was watching with great interest, Aunt Sun seemed to feel something. She turned around sharply, and then jumped up all of a sudden. How did you get in the door? Sunny turned off the movie on the table as fast as she could, and the expression on her face was very embarrassing. I have a key. I said, Ruashi, how did you have a key to my house? He stared with wide eyes and a shocked face. Auntie Sun is 40 years old and has never been married. Because her parents died early, she has been living alone for decades. To tell you the truth, the key to your house was secretly matched by me. I said to Aunt Sun with a smile, and my hand gently stroked up her face. According to reason, 18-year-old me is unlikely to have the taste to fall in love with a half-aged woman, but this Aunt Sun is really something special. She once looked at my body, incidentally also cured me of that disease. Aunt Sun was the attending physician, and she was the one who performed the surgery on me. At that time, the first time in my life on the operating table, I was nervous and shaking all the time. Auntie Sun has been constantly to give me peace of mind. If it wasn't for the local anesthesia, I almost couldn't control it. Since then I have had a strange feeling towards Aunt Sun. It just so happens that coincidentally, he is also my neighbor. My parents are also working in the hospital. My father is the vice president, is the leader of Aunt Sun, usually busy at school, and Aunt Sun contact time is too little. Recently the school summer vacation. So my heart began to move, began to slowly start on her. I inadvertently found that Sunny has the habit of hiding the key. He specialized in spare key, in the doorway under the floor mat, or in the yard, inside the flower bed, or in the milk crate. Keep changing the key hiding mat. I went through a rummage, and finally found the key in the corner of the wall brick cracks, and immediately went to the street equipped with one. After lunch, I snuck into Aunt Sun's house on a whim, and as soon as I opened her door with the key, I couldn't wait to step into her bedroom. Although he was already a middle-aged man in his 40s, the room was still decorated with many pink elements. I looked at the silk clothes he put on the bedside. The more I looked, the more I felt, but I didn't expect that just as I rushed to get ready for the silk clothes, I heard the key on the security door. I was so scared that I rushed to put my pants back on, and under the panic, the zipper of my pants accidentally yanked on the hair, and it hurt so much that my head instantly lost a moment. At this time Sunny also walked into the bedroom, saw me half kneeling on the ground. She first shouted in fear, then casually grabbed the book in hand and threw it at me. I was afraid that his voice would attract other neighbors, so I hurriedly shouted, Aunt Sun, it's me. Xiaoming, how dare you steal and match my house key, what are you doing? Sunny surprised not small, wide-eyed some angry. I hurried to find a topic to stall Aunt Sun. You do not misunderstand. I just thank you for helping me to cure the disease, want to go to your home to help you clean the room. Aunt Sun heard what I said, obviously relieved, looked me up and down. How can you think this child? Auntie's home which can use you to clean, and again, how can you do such dishonorable things? One day with your parents to come to Auntie's home to eat, Auntie would be welcome. I see Auntie Sun will be completely wrong. A nervous directly spit out my heart. From the time you give me surgery, my heart has moved for you. My sentence immediately amused Aunt Sun. I have performed countless surgeries and seen too many men. You are just one of them, you little kid. Your hair hasn't grown all the way yet. Aunt Sun waved her hand, signaling me to go out. This is his bedroom. It is not appropriate for me to stay in his bedroom as a tall young man, and it is night time now. It is dark as ink outside, giving people a feeling of moon darkness and wind high. Straight up, I'm going to chase you down. I opened up to Aunt Sun about my intentions. You're a brat, go, don't make a mess in my room. Aunt Sun walked up and started pushing with her hands as I tried to push me out of the bedroom. Aunt Sun, just yesterday I had my 18th birthday. I greeted her and wrapped my arms around her waist in one fell swoop. I'm an adult now, and already have the right to fall in love, and with my sweetheart, I have to chase after her. Sunny, I didn't expect me to take the initiative and embrace her in my arms at once. He pushed me with both hands and tried to break free from my embrace, but he simply did not have my strength. Big I am close to 1.8 meters tall and look big and round. while Aunt Sun looks less than 1.6 meters and has a petite figure, plus she is very thin. If you look from the back it looks like a little girl in high school. I just gently embrace the other no matter how much struggle cannot break free from my arm. Xiaoming, let go of me, if you don't I am going to tell your parents. Aunt Sun was a little furious, as if she was not at all interested in me as a little fresh meat only to let go of him. Give me back the key, you hurry out. Sunny gave me an expulsion order, if I will keep it for you first. I touched the key in my pants pocket and didn't turn it in. Don't come to my room at night in the future. Aunt Sun screamed behind me at my back, but Aunt Sun, I have been cured. I saw the corner of his mouth visibly move, and I hurriedly borrowed a slope. Sunny, just this once. He glared at me and was about to open his mouth to say something when I hurriedly took control and lunged towards him. You take a bath. He struggled and shouted at me. I nodded and quickly ran into the bathroom and hit the faucet. When I finished the bath, changed into the pajamas she found for me, and when she was concentrating on watching the movie and I hugged her, I suddenly remembered that the reason why I came to Auntie Sun's room, there was actually another thing, and just now the spermatozoa was so strong that I forgot the most important thing. There was an earthquake in Lake County. The tremor was very obvious on our side. It is possible that an earthquake will happen here too. I reminded Auntie Sun that it was only after I watched the news that I realized there was a 3.8 magnitude earthquake in Lake County, and that the tremor was felt very strongly while I was sitting at home. How come I didn't feel the earthquake? Sunny muttered in a small voice, you only cared about watching the movie, where did you care about the earthquake? I replied with a smile. Sunny's face once again became unnatural. This matter is not allowed to speak to outsiders. Rot in your stomach, otherwise I am not finished with you. Sunny warned me, she may also feel that she secretly hides in the bedroom alone to watch a movie is a little shameful. Want me not to tell the public can also, but I have a condition. I have already planned, during this summer vacation, I want to have a sensational old teenager with Aunt Sun. You little brat, there's a condition. What condition? Sunny not only didn't get angry, instead, he laughed all of a sudden. In his eyes, I'm just a little brat. My condition is that you promise me to be my girlfriend. Aunt Sunny took the chicken feather duster from the side and hit it at me. It was at this time that the floorboards suddenly began to shake. The earthquake came. As I stood in the living room, I could clearly feel the vibrations on the soles of my feet. The teacups on the table bounced violently, and the vase on the cabinet fell straight down, smashing to the ground and breaking into pieces. That strong vibration almost made me fall to the ground. Aunt Sun didn't stand still, her body swayed. She grabbed the bag on the table in a panic, unsteady on her feet, and fell directly towards me. I hurriedly hugged him. Xiaoming, quick, run. The earthquake is coming. Sun Yi's face changed drastically, and she tugged on my arm at once. The second tremor came immediately after. The floorboards shook again. I directly picked up Sunny and rushed out towards the door. At this time outside the door is raining a heavy rainstorm, dark night blowing a gale, heavy rain, simply do not know which direction you should run. At this time the third strong tremor struck again, shaking people almost unsteady on their feet. I can feel the ground shaking very badly. There are screaming voices coming out from the buildings one after another. Quickly get into my car, hide inside the car. Sunny nervously wrapped her arms around my neck and shouted loudly in panic. I quickly rushed to the yard. Stopped in front of a white sedan in the very center. Aunt Sun Yi's car was parked in a fixed place every day. I could run to where it was parked with my eyes closed. Outside, the rain covered the sky and scared people so much that they couldn't open their eyes. Aunt Sun and I quickly got into the car and drove it outside to the plaza where there were no high-rise buildings. Sunny started the car and started it 3 times before he got it going. He thought that the steering wheel was too sharp and all of a sudden he scraped the sedan next to him, but the car still scurried out, and under the light of the headlights, in the water that drowned over his feet, he quickly drove to the square not far away. In the middle of the square, Aunt Sun stopped the car. We were both sitting in the car, breathing heavily, and out the window there was a constant stream of speeding cars. Xiaoming, this earthquake building will quake too. Aunt Sun sat in the driver's seat, talking voice are a little trembling. We are now in the square, even if the buildings cannot hit us. I explored from the back seat, grabbed Sun Yi's hand, kept stroking me, speaking voice is still relatively smooth. The sudden disaster, although I was also nervous, but did not panic. Auntie, do not be afraid, we should be safe now. I didn't expect Auntie's son to get up from her seat and climb to the back seat, where she sat close to me. I grew up so big or for the first time encountered the tremor so strong earthquake. I can obviously feel Auntie's body is slightly trembling. Just now the highly tense emotions have not calmed down. I will Auntie in my arms, his head tightly pressed against my body, is a natural disaster. I will always accompany, you do not be afraid. Auntie's head broke away from my arms in a flash. You're not afraid of a little kid, what am I afraid of? Auntie muttered under her breath, her voice had returned to normal, but his right hand was still gripping my left hand tightly, with no intention of letting go. I'm already an adult, don't call me a brat anymore, okay? I reached over with my right hand as well and kept rubbing the back of Auntie's right hand, which was smooth and soft, and as I needed it, the word soft and boneless came to mind. Damn, where are your parents? Wonder if they ran out yet. Sonny suddenly shrieked, they're traveling 10,000 miles away right now. 2 days ago my parents then bought airplane tickets and flew to travel abroad. It's their 20th wedding anniversary, and on their special anniversary they said they were traveling to England. No wonder your kid is so bold, daring to run to my house in the middle of the night. Auntie reached over and grabbed my ear with her left hand. Your parents are not around to supervise you, and now you are lawless. I laughed. Auntie, our love affair from now on. My meaning is very obvious. As long as they had promised, I will immediately first smell the taste of kissing a woman. I haven't tasted it yet. Now that I'm an adult, I want to try it. No way. Auntie pulled his right hand out of my arms and deliberately moved his position to the side, distancing himself from me. Donkey, you think nonsense, I can be your mom. And son said to me very seriously, you dyed his heart. My emotions were all of a sudden agitated. You are unmarried, I am also an adult, the age gap is not a problem, we are completely able to be together. My parents and Aunt's son work in the same hospital, I heard my mother say, although Aunt's son is already 40 years old, but she has not talked about boyfriends, not to mention marriage. Aunt's son is a surgical knife, medical skills are very high, is the backbone of the hospital, salary and treatment in all aspects are very good, there are a lot of men pursuing, but all were ruthlessly rejected by her. Auntie, I've had a crush on you for a long time and I want to play. At this time it was still raining outside the car window, and there were cars running back and forth. Auntie said with a long sigh. Will there be casualties from the unexpected earthquake, and we still don't know if we can see the sun tomorrow? Forget it, just this once, never again. I felt a rush of excitement in my heart, only to feel the blood flow in my body speeding up and my chi and blood surging up. My dream girl that I have been secretly in love with for a long time, the goddess of my heart that I have been dreaming about, now I can finally play on it. In the thumping sound of my heartbeat, I opened my eyes wide, pouted my lips, and slowly moved up against my aunt's body. Suddenly, a sharp knocking sounded outside the car window, and Sonny rolled down the window. Only to see the hospital's security guards holding umbrellas shouting, you are Dr. Yen, right, I recognize your car, you drive the car to the emergency shelter area, where there is food and drink, turn left 200 meters ahead. Okay, we'll be right there, thank you. Sonny quickly moved to the driver's seat, started the car and turned on the lights. I didn't kiss my aunt's Pearson, annoyed looking out the window at the security guard, who also gazed at me with a somewhat cold facial expression. The car soon arrived at the emergency shelter area, a large shed built out of very large canvas. It was huge, half a soccer field in size. There was a miner's lamp shrouded against the top of the canvas, and the shed got some light, but it was very dim. I went to collect some water and bread and sat down with my aunt to eat some. Auntie hadn't had any fun earlier, so what can I do? I was reluctant and said to my auntie, there are many people around. Auntie looked up and looked around, and firmly rejected me. Then that movie you watched on your phone, show it to me too. That image was so hot to watch that I still can't get it out of my head. Don't make so much noise, everyone is emotionally unstable. Auntie covered the bag she was carrying in her arms with both hands. In addition to the car keys in that bag, it seems that Auntie's cell phone is also inside the grinding half a day. Auntie said that you can only watch half an hour, and then only reluctantly gave me the phone. I found that there was nothing inside the phone except the movie. Auntie, you really good, this is a special phone. Auntie heard immediately want to grab the phone, do not look at it to return to me, where is so much nonsense. I hurriedly protect the phone, hide the screen in my arms, looked down and looked up. It is even a foreign film, it seems that the aunt's taste is quite heavy. Within a few minutes I was hot from watching and was about to find an excuse to lean on my aunt when the phone rang. It was another cell phone in my aunt's bag. She answered the phone and listened to the voice on the receiver that it was coming for her. Sure enough, not 2 minutes later, a woman in her 30s came to us. As soon as the two spoke, I immediately understood that it was one of the nurses under Aunt's son who had also taken refuge here, and contacted the two by phone. Hot chatting put me cool on the side. There are outsiders sitting next to me. I small movie also dare not watch, very boring to listen to the two of them chatter. In this way, we sat in the shed all night. The next day the sky cleared. There is a notice that the probability of no more earthquakes, everything back to normal state. Sunny tonight to work the night shift, during the day at home to make up sleep. I cannot disturb his rest, only to go home and fall on the bed huffing and puffing. The night time I woke up, casually eat a little meal and then go straight to the hospitalization building. And son's movie phone is still on me. I forgot to give it back to her last night. Now that she's on the night shift, I just happened to go to where she works. As a chief physician, Aunt's son has a specially equipped lounge at work. Aunt's son was very busy and was surprised to see me coming. He brought me to the lounge. Don't you run around, just rest here. I took out my special movie phone and started watching a movie while half lying on the bed in the lounge. I was in the middle of watching it, my soul, my mind, my thoughts, when I suddenly felt heavy breathing in the back of my head. I jumped up from the bed. Who is it? Why don't you knock when you come in? Only to see a woman aged about 30 in a nurse's uniform was standing at the head of the bed, watching a small movie with me while coldly observing my reaction. The back of the bedside was facing the door, and I was lying on the bed, so I couldn't see outsiders entering the room. The hospital planting prohibits the viewing of obscene movies. Hurry up and put it away. I turned off my cell phone. My heart is not panicked. This woman must have stood behind my head and watched for a long time. Breathing has become heavy and rapid. Even he himself is secretly watching, and have the face to teach others. I heard Dr. Yen say that there is a brat pestering him. It should be you. The nurse sized me up and said coldly. Being caught in the act, I was a little embarrassed, and the nurse in front of me had a pair of big watery eyes, which kept staring at my thigh area. Just watch the movie, reaction is too strong. I have already erected a tent, the scene is a little embarrassing. I hurriedly turned my back to avoid the other party's sharp gaze. You are too young, let's hit Dr. Yan's idea, the age difference is too big, die this heart while you can. The nurse was serious about training me. I was a little disgusted. What's wrong with being older? I just want to take a different path. I saw the nurse's chest sign above the two words written He Yen's sister. Other people's business you do not care. Freedom of love has nothing to do with you. The nurse called He Yen immediately exploded. You could talk quite impulsive. You believe it or not. As long as I say a word, Dr. Yen immediately cut off all relations with you. I got angry. What a big mouth. What's your relationship with Auntie Sun? There are things you should know less about. Good. As He Yen spoke, she picked up a newspaper in the lounge and walked out. I was depressed for a while. What is the relationship between this nurse called He Yen and Aunt Sun? It felt like this person was quite arrogant. At this time Sunny walked in and closed the door of the lounge with her hand. I am so tired from this burst of busyness. I feel that my lumbar spondylosis is back. Sunny sat on a chair and kept pounding her waist. Auntie, I can step on the back to help you step on it. You can really step on the back. Aunt Sunny had a pained look on her face. Ego, my old back is sore and aching. My grandma is also a doctor. I learned from my grandma when I was a kid, and she always praised me that I was a good back stomper. Ego, that's great. You try it. Ego, my back is sore and numb. Aunt Sun lying on the bed. I stood on the edge of the bed and began to step on the back. The so-called back stepping, in fact, is not stepped on with the feet, but with the arms, is a branch of the massage. If the arms are strong enough, the massage starts after the spine is very comfortable. I used both arms to press for a while. Sunny kept screaming that it was very comfortable, and he kept appreciating that my level of back stepping was high. After 10 minutes, Sunny got up and now I felt much more comfortable. Auntie Sun moved her waist. Her face was full of smiles. Her handiwork is good. She got your grandmother's true heritage. Next time you step on my back more often, Auntie, is there any reward? I hugged Auntie's waist from behind and asked her for a reward. You little kid, what reward do you want to tell you again? There is no love between us. Auntie tried to break away from my arm. I took the opportunity to give her a kiss on the cheek. This bite is what you owe me from yesterday, I smiled cheekily. You kids are always taking advantage of Auntie. Auntie Sun broke away from my hand and searched for something on the table. My newspaper. I just brought it to work. Why is it gone? Yan took it. When did he come? Did he see you? Sunny was a little panicked, saw and said not to let me chase you. I truthfully, Sunny more panicked. You hurry back, do not come in the future. Aunt Sun began to push me to drive me away. I see that the aunt is in a bad mood, only to return the phone to her, and then left the hospital. Just what puzzles me is that Aunt Sun seems to be very, very afraid of Yan. 3 days later, Aunt Sun was transferred to the day shift, and in the evening she suddenly and enthusiastically called me and invited me to dinner. My parents hadn't come back from a trip to a foreign country, so I was the only one at home. I jumped up and down and went to Aunt Sun's house, which was right next door. When I pushed the door in, there were 2 guests inside. One was Yan, the nurse from earlier. The other was my classmate, Gao Tong. Gao Tong is my senior classmate, and I participated in the college entrance examination together. Only I am the school bully, he is the dregs. I heard that he only examined more than 200 points. It seems to go to a junior college. These are not the key. The most crucial thing is that testosterone has been chasing me backwards. He secretly wrote me several love letters, and also blocked me in the classroom after the evening study hall. Face to face frantically confessed to me. I directly rejected him. Xiaoming, you really live here, ah? Great. Testosterone saw me and greeted me excitedly. Why are you here? My expression was nonchalant. My cousin Yan brought me here. At this time, Yan also stood up from the sofa and showed me a smile. Xiaoming, I heard that my cousin is chasing after you. I am here to act as a matchmaker. You two are quite compatible. Matchmaking? I've clearly rejected Gao Tong and have done so times. This testosterone is not my favorite type at all. What I like has always been my crush on Aunt Sun. At this time, Auntie Sun came out from the kitchen. I fried a few dishes to come, and we all had a good time. It seems that coming to Auntie's place for dinner, I am a supporting role. I thought I was the main character tonight, coming to have a 2-person world with Auntie. Let's drink first. Tonight we'll only talk about drinking and nothing else. Sunny could see my unhappiness. She pointed to testosterone and Yan and warned them to only talk about drinking and not to say anything that would spoil the fun. Sure enough, testosterone and Yan no longer mentioned the matter of matchmaking. The two began to frequently persuade me to drink. We did not drink white wine, but drank a kind of yellow wine called 3 Bulls. But gang, this yellow wine is not really strong. We slowly drink. Aunt Sun smilingly greeted me at the table frequently, and I raised a glass, as if I was the most important guest. Yan is also very enthusiastic, has been close to me, take the initiative to drink with me. Gao Tong is even more excited, sitting next to me, cup after cup, and I clink glasses. As long as Gao Tong doesn't pursue me, as long as Yan doesn't mention the matter of matchmaking for me, I'm still in a good mood. Unconsciously I drank too much. In a daze, Sunny helped me into his bedroom. Aunt Sun quietly whispered in my ear, this night to let me watch mountain clouds and rain, and enjoy the pleasure of fish and water. I was excited to hold Sun Aunt to nibble. I unlocked the bedroom door from the inside, picked up Sun Aunt and one fell on the bed, and then I pounced on it. Auntie is also very cooperative with me. The two of us extinguished the lights, deliberately in the dark, so that the passion to get unbridled release. Just ready until the dragon's nest, but Sunny suddenly said she wanted to go to the shower, wash the body clean, so that you can play more enjoyable. The shower is only a few minutes of time. I readily agreed, as long as the actual battle, the other things I can wait, but also not worse than this few minutes. Sunny did not turn on the light. Directly out of the bedroom, my clothes have been stripped, the bedroom lights, in case they broken, I will be naked. Still, Auntie Sun was thoughtful enough to leave the lights on purpose, and I have a crush on my aunt, which is one of the reasons why. I have always thought that being older makes you more mature, and some things will be more well thought out. Less than 5 minutes, the bedroom door opened, Sunny naked pounced up, the big battle officially began. The two of us lovebirds play with each other, turning clouds and rain, the battle is very sound. After finishing, we embraced each other and fell into a deep sleep. In the morning, I opened my eyes as the hot sun shone into my bedroom. Last night's drinking until midnight and then a long fight caused me to sleep a lot better all of a sudden. I opened my eyes, full of tenderness, and looked at the sleeping beauty beside me. This look, I was shocked, and jumped up from the bed at once. Sleeping next to me is not Aunt Sun, but testosterone. At this time, testosterone opened his eyes in a daze and said, "Honey, what is it? Jump so high you are not too excited. Want to plumb 2 degrees, plumb 2 degrees your head. How do you sleep here? Where is Sunny? Are you playing Steal the Beam?" I was furious and quickly put on my pants. Originally thought that my persistent pursuit touched Aunt Sun, she accepted me willing to lie with me. I didn't realize that it was Aunt Sun who played a conspiracy, excused herself to take a bath in the middle of the night, and then secretly switched. No wonder Aunt Sun told me not to turn on the light, said not to turn on the light, play more enjoyable. At that time, I thought Auntie was playing a romantic mood, but it turned out that not turning on the light was for testosterone to mix in better. No wonder last night they 3 women have been desperately pouring me wine it, and also have to drink 3 bowls but gonzo yellow wine. This wine after drinking too much will not be drunk, but can let a person has been in a daze in the half drunk and half awake between. It turns out that they have already been under the set of testosterone. You took the initiative to show up, was it Sun Yi's idea? At this moment, I have a belly full of fire to Aunt Sun. No, it was my cousin's idea. Gao Tong sat on the bed and saw that I was angry, and was so scared that the voice of the speech was much smaller like the cry of a mosquito. Hurry up and get dressed, let's go find Aunt Sun together. I pulled open the bedroom door with one hand and huffed and puffed. When I came to the living room, I froze at once, only to see Sunny and Hien were both sitting on the sofa, looking at me with expressionless faces. It seems that everything is under the control of the duo, and they are quietly waiting for me to come and ask questions. "Auntie, you also know that I love you, how can you desecrate my love?" Hearing my question, Sunny glanced at Hien and lowered her head in embarrassment. Hien slowly opened her mouth and said, "You are now living with testosterone, you are a man, you have to be responsible for him. I am responsible for shit, I didn't do it voluntarily, I was tricked into bed. This TSK, do you think I can take the blame?" At this time testosterone had already dressed and stood behind me. After hearing my words, he began to lower his head and sobbed. "Xiaoming, I love you so much I could pull my heart out and feed it to you. Last night I cooperated with you as much as I could, didn't you feel my love for you was very strong? My husband, if you don't want me anymore, I will die. Before I die I write a suicide note saying that my death has nothing to do with you. Me, hubby, I'm preggers these days, and with your crazy night last night, there's a good chance you're going to be a dad. If you don't want to that's fine, I'll be a single mom for the rest of my life." I can't answer a word, I can only pull my hair fiercely. "You two solve your own matters, now you can leave here." Hien coldly spoke. I could only drag my heavy steps to leave Aunt Sun's house. 2 days later, my parents came back from their trip, and as soon as they got home, testosterone arrived. After entering my house, testosterone was deeply liked by my parents with a good and sweet mouth as well as a high-caliber body. When testosterone told my mom that she had moved in with me, my mom was so happy that she took out a bracelet from the bottom of the box and put it on testosterone's hand. My father said, "Testosterone college entrance examination results are not ideal, it does not matter, he personally pay for a better college, university graduation we will get married." Testosterone is very good at pleasing my parents, and he is very well behaved in front of me, trying to cater to all my needs. He does love me, but I don't love him. I don't dare tell my parents the truth. If they knew that the goddess of my heart turned out to be Auntie Sun, then even if I had become an adult and had grown up I still wouldn't be able to escape the vicious co-ed beatings from the 2 of them. It was supposed to be a relaxing summer vacation, but I'm in deep water. Looking for an opportunity, I met with Hien. "I know you will come to me, it is for the testosterone thing, right?" Hien opened the door and directly said, "My heart not. Hien sister, I really like Aunt Sun, you and Sunny play a conspiracy, my heart really hurt a lot I came to show you one thing, you will understand why I am doing this. He took out a cell phone, and then said to me, originally I could not tell you about this, but I see that you are in the way, the doctor is too deep, so I will take this thing out, so that you completely die this heart. I took a look, that cell phone was actually Aunt Sun's. This phone of Aunt Sun's is very special, it is a special phone for watching movies. How could something so private be in your hands? Why is it in my hand? You'll know the answer after you read what's inside. He opened his cell phone, pulled up a video, and then handed the phone to me. I looked at what was playing inside, but it was a small video of Aunt Sun and him interacting together on a daily basis. What do you mean? I asked her. Your dear Sonny is not interested in men at all. He gazed into my eyes and said slowly. My head buzzed and exploded directly. I was sometimes imagining that a top-quality fresh meat like me was a fatal temptation to older women. But Aunt Sun doesn't care about me at all. Can you understand this now? I don't get it. If that's the case, then just say it to me directly. Why do you need testosterone to sleep with me? He put the phone away, said to me very seriously, my cousin Testosterone told me, he is very infatuated with you, love you very deeply, but you rejected him many times, so I gave him a trick, called raw rice to make a mature rice. I know you are a responsible man. I wish you and Testosterone 100 years of good luck. I was speechless for a while. Testosterone has a cousin like you. I don't know whether it is her honor or her sorrow. After a few days, I heard that Aunt Sun did a sick retirement. I was very surprised. Aunt Sun is just 40 years old, is the peak moment of life. In the end, what kind of disease let him handle the sick retirement? I went to Aunt Sun's home and saw that she was in good spirits and did not look sick. Auntie heard that you have applied for sick retirement. Where do you look like you are sick? What I have is a very small illness, and I take medicine every day to keep it under control for the time being. Aunt Sun said smilingly. However, I suddenly realized that the gaze he looked at me while he was talking was a bit erratic. I was reading psychology these days, and I knew that this was lying, a special characteristic of not telling the truth. But I didn't expose him, just asked him some questions about love and love. Aunt Sun understood at once. Now I have changed my outlook on life since I found out that I have that disease. Now I am no longer interested. Since you are not interested, why not accept my love? I grabbed Aunt Sun's hand and spoke in a somewhat agitated tone. To be honest, I don't like you either, but if you are willing, I can do anything now. Sonny said expressionlessly, anything. He said this in a calm tone, but whether she is excited or not is his business. Anyway, I was excited and jumped 3 feet high. I wrapped my arms around her waist and directly pressed my lips to hers. Aunt Sun also did not show weakness, actively and proactively cooperated with my movements. We both kissed each other from the living room, slowly moved to the bedroom, and then both flopped down on the bed, and I do not know how long passed, we both because of overexertion, both exhausted lying together. In a few years, when I reach the legal age of marriage, I will go with you to get a license, then I can call you my wife. I gently stroked each other's smooth skin with tenderness in my voice. I'm afraid I can't wait for that day. Sonny took out a diagnosis from the nightstand drawer and handed it to me to read. Malignant tumor. I screamed out in shock. How could this be? Are you kidding? No, I'm not joking. This is the result of the check just yesterday. Aunt Sun's tone was calm, without the slightest fluctuation, as if this terminal disease had nothing to do with her. My eyes moistened. Auntie, because you have this disease, that's why you agreed to give me your body, right? Yes, you love me so deeply, I can't let you give in vain. I want to give you something in return. Aunt Sun suddenly laughed. Although you are a fresh meat and have been secretly in love with me, you are not the type of person that I am in love with, so I have been rejecting you, just like you reject testosterone. I suddenly realized that loving and being loved are 2 completely separate worlds, and only when these 2 worlds completely overlap is it possible to have a 100-year relationship. So am I in the wrong bed this time?